Good evening friends, you are most welcome to Think IS channel. Today we are going to discuss comparative ethnography Mani 003 IGNOU, in which we are discuss approaches to ethnography Unit 1, functionalist and structuralist approach Unit 2, symbolist and culturalist approach Unit 3, feminist and postmodernist approach. Now we are going to discuss Block 2, approaches to ethnography. Introduction part. The term anthropology was coined by Immanuel Kant. There were many scholars who contributed to a comparative understanding of human beings in different parts of the world, but their writings did not mark the true beginning of anthropology. In 1859 was published Charles Darwin on the origin of species, where he argued in opposition to the theory of creationism that everything in the world has evolved over a period. The job of the scientists was to work out the process of evolution and the different stages that emerge with the change from simple to complex. Darwin's work provided great impetus to the growth of anthropology. The first approach in anthropology was evolutionism, which argued that human beings as well as their society has evolved from a stage of less differentiation to that of more differentiation of its parts and functions. The problem came up when evolutionism was applied to human society and culture, where concrete evidences about the past simply did not exist, for they had perished away with the passage of time. In the absence of facts, the evolutionist extravagantly indulged in conjectural reconstructions, which in fact attack the reputation of anthropology as a science of human beings. It was against the evolutionary approach that the approach called functionalism came into existence. Its main objective was to undertake a study of society as it was, how its different parts were interconnected, and how society worked as an organically integrated system. Functionalism had huge success not only in anthropology but it also influenced the other disciplines. Functionalism did not denounce the evolutionary approach, but in the absence of facts, it would turn into a pseudo historical enterprise. Therefore, instead of studying how society has evolved, we should study what it is and how it functions as a whole. One of the major shortcomings of functionalism was that it did not deal with the meaning of cultural practices. This approach focused upon the great ability of human beings to create symbols and invest these with meanings. Those who studied symbol came to be known as symbolists. Sometimes they also combined their approach with that of structuralism, an approach associated with the name of the French anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss. Structuralism, in its classical form, looked for the underlying structures, patterns of thought that cut across different societies. If symbolists were concerned with discovering the meaning of the symbol, structuralism was concerned with finding the uniformities in different societies. Are there universal structures cutting across time and space, or it is or is it a figment of imagination? Many scholars were skeptical of this idea. Rather, they argued that it is wrong to believe in the idea of homogeneity and universality. In spite of the similarities between different parts of the world, there are important differences which will continue over a period of time. The contemporary world is such that here no school of thought or ideology has any hegemonic control over anything. These ideas gradually developed in a bunch of thoughts known as postmodernism. It is one of the critical thought along with feminism. This block will introduce you to these ideas. Now we are going to discuss Unit 1, Functionalist and Structuralist Approach. Contents are: first introduction, second functionalism, in which first is Malinowski's brief life history, Malinowski's brief life history, Malinowski's criticism of evolutionist and diffusionist, Malinowski's field work method, Malinowski's functionalism, criticism of functionalism. Third is structural functional approach, in which we will discuss Radcliffe Brown's brief life history, Radcliffe Brown's theory of social structure, types of social structure, Radcliffe Brown's structural functional approach, criticism of structural functionalism approach. Fourth is structuralism, Levi-Strauss brief life history, Levi-Strauss structuralism, Levi-Strauss models, Levi-Strauss main areas of studies, and criticism of Levi-Strauss structuralism. At the last summary, learning objectives are: once you have studied this unit, you should be able to define the concept of function and structure in the study of society and culture, describe different approaches to study function and structure, and indicate the differences between French structuralism and British function and structure. Now we are going to start introduction part. Anthropological approaches to study societies and cultures during the late 19th century have been named after evolution, which was a major concept in explaining how societies and cultures evolved during the course of history. Evolutionary schools of thought gave way to diffusion or cultural historic schools of thoughts during the early 20th century that uphold the view that culture is a product of historical process. The notion of function was not new, as social philosophers right from ancient Greek scholars like Herodotus, Plato, Aristotle, and late Augustine, Hobbes, and Locke recognized the relation between social institutions, but they never developed a sound theory of function. Even Henri de Saint-Simon and Auguste Comte, while using function as a major methodological tool in their writings, were more intent in developing their theory of positivism and left function largely unexplained. The concept of structure and function first appeared in the writings of Herbert Spencer in his book Principle of Sociology 1885, where he has dealt with fundamental similarities between organism and society. He has treated society an integrated order of parts like an organism. As an organism is a composition of different parts, society also is a composition of different parts that are interrelated and integrated to provide the structure of that society. As different parts of organism performs different functions to make the existence of a body of organism possible. In the same way, different parts of a society contribute indispensable functions for the existence of the society as an integrated whole. Emile Durkheim, a well-known French sociologist, also used the concepts of structure and function in his books Division of Labor 1893 and The Rules of Sociological Method 1895. However, he preferred the terms monopoly and physiology respectively. It was only in his writings the concept of function got a greater methodological significance. He too linked the society to an organism. He held the view that just as an organism, in order to make the body alive, fulfill certain essential needs, society also has to fulfill certain needs for its existence and survival. The activities by which the essential needs are fulfilled, he called them as functions. Durkheim defined function as a combination that a part makes to the whole, which is for its maintenance and well-being. During the early part of 20th century, two British scholars pioneered what has came to be known as functional and structural approach to the analysis of culture. Malinowski is associated with the functional approach and Radcliffe Brown is pioneer of a structural functional approach. Both of them were critical to evolutionary and diffusionist views on culture. In their view, the evolutionist and diffusionist analysis of cultures about which written records were lacking, was not historical but pseudo historical. Similar cultural traits are generally accepted as indicated historical connections. They held the view that the purpose of comparison in social anthropology is to explore socio-cultural institutions of present-day societies in terms of their structural functional aspects. Comparative